So the next thing really to do is go into the control panel, and you can go into basic mode or advanced mode, and then start to set up the shares and usernames. Now I'm just going to use this as a backup drive, so I'm probably just going to use the admin account, but I'm just going to make sure that the guest account's disabled anyway. Here we can select the file services that you want, so SMB, and you can obviously change the workgroup name and things like that for it. That's just going to tell you how you can find it on Mac and PC. And then you've got all these other services, like I say, you've got the Bonjour service, which will help you find it in Time Machine and all those kind of things. Well, I'm not actually going to use it as a Time Machine backup anyway, so I'm going to skip that off. I'm not really going to use it in connection with the server, so I'm just going to leave that switched off as well. I'm not going to leave it, I'm not going to access it via FTP, although that's there. And obviously you've got FTPS as well, and the port numbers and everything else that's assigned with that. It shows you your WAN address, and also you can set up the port numbers for all the other things on there, and speed limits and things like that with FTP. TFTP as well, not going to use that. rsync, so if you've got rsync software, you can use this to rsync, one system to another, or if you've got some other complete different type of server, but it supports rsync, then this supports rsync as well, so it'll just synchronize everything across that easy. And then enable in Bonjour service discovery. Again, I'm not really bothered. I'm not going to use it for Time Machine. I'm not going to use it for anything to do with printing, but I'm going to leave it so that it can be found on the Windows network. Again, that's just kind of saying, oh, we'll cause local devices to know what to find in blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to use any of them, so we shall skip that. It's just going to be direct from one of my other Synology drives direct to this one as a backup, so that's going to be it. Same again, users are going to believe that one. Again, on this one you can have groups of users, so you can set your own group, and if you've got like an office where you've got 3 different teams in there that do different things, so an accounts team, a sales team, and just a general admin team, you can have them separated so each user is part of a group, and therefore you can just associate the group's access to shared folders rather than having to go through and add each person to the shared folder access to each shared folder. Makes it a lot easier that way. It also supports domain LDAP lookups as well, so if you haven't got something like an Active Directory Windows server, this can hook up to that. And it'll bring in the user information, so you don't have to add everything here. It just then extends your network, so this kind of like joins your network as if it was a little file server. The Quick Connect ID is how you find this across the internet. So obviously I'm going to blur these out, but ultimately that is an address you go to, http://quickconnect.to/ whatever you've chosen for this device to be called, and that way you can find it anywhere across the internet via a web browser or the free apps that come along with this. So that's quite a cool thing as well. So under the advanced option here, you've got the options for being able to relay and automatically create port forwarding and things like that. So that's really cool that you can do all that, and it's all automatic, and it's all done through the Synology system, so it gets around you messing around with your router and things like that as well. External access, again, if you wanted to put in DDNS, you can use your own and obviously affect your own router configuration as well, but the Quick Connect system works brilliantly, so there's just no point. Under network, you can set up the server's name and its local IP address. It supports IPv6 as well. You can put your own DNS details in there and all that kind of thing. It even shows the status of your LAN connection. So this one's currently using DHCP. I'm going to change it, and it tells me it's on 1 gigabits right now. You can even set this up as a DHCP server as well, so it gives out IP addresses. Again, why you'd want to do that, not too sure, but it's there if you want to. And yes, it even supports wireless if you plug in the correct supported USB Wi-Fi adapter, so you don't even need to plug it into Cat5, Cat6. Security is all about sort of compatibility and making sure that there are no hackers and all sorts of things like that, firewall protection, and it'll give you notifications every time things are blocked on there. Enable DDoS as well, denial of service. And all those kind of things that you basically want to have if it's a public facing server. Now this one's already behind a firewall, and it's only going to be used as a backup for internal devices, so I don't need to have any of this enabled, but obviously these are there to protect you anyway. So great services, great systems to have in place. Spend a bit of time, go through all these and set them all up. The info center is just going to give you basic information. It's going to give you the CPU, clock rate, physical memory it's got, how many hours it's been up, the time it's going to register with, and obviously that isn't the right time at the moment. So we can go away and change that one. It's going to give some information from that, but it is just an info center, so it's just little bits and bobs, but it's going to give you an overview of what's set up and what services are enabled. Theme, do you want to change it so that it's different colors? Do you want to put a different title at the top and a welcome message and a logo? So make it your own system, make it so it's branded, load your own logo in there so that it looks like your system, so when people log in, it is going to sort of come across like your cloud station for your company. Regional options, there we go, that's where we can set it up. So there we go, that's done there. I'm going to get synchronized with that one, so that's going to be set up. Language, I'm going to go for English, obviously. Indexing service, it's going to run its own indexing services anyway, but this is if you want to add extra services on there. And obviously things like photographs can be found a lot quicker if it indexes them first, and videos. So for example, you can use this if you want to as a media server. So if you want to put all your music, photos and videos on here and have them stream around to all your TV, anything that supports UPnPS or anything like that, anything around the house or your company's network or whatever, then that's good to have all that set up on there, so that you can index it to make it easier to find. It'll also convert videos for mobile viewing so that they're a bit easier to see. Notifications, I would sort of recommend this because it's going to tell you everything that's going on. I would recommend using those are the notifications on there, sorry about that. Those are the notifications that you can select to be told, these are the things, important things I want to be notified about or not. The push service is what I would say is the best one. Put your email address in there, and then it actually sets it up through Synology's system. So if you enable email notifications, put that in there. You can either set it up through Yahoo or everything else if you want to do that, or if you just do push service, this uses the Synology system. So put your email address in there, enable mobile notifications if you wanted to. Therefore, any app that you've got on your phone that's connected to this device means that you've got an open connection to it, and it can use that app to give you mobile notifications of problems with the Synology system as well, which is quite good. So you can have a script on there that you want to run, and these can be anything. So it could be a script that runs something on a completely different system, but this is just going to allow you to schedule it from here, and therefore it'll actually give you a message afterwards as well. So once it's run, you can then say, after I've run, give me a message afterwards to say, yes, I've done it. So enable reporting, so you can save the details to a local log file. And all the tasks come up here as well. So system events, any notifications are all down there. Hardware and power is what happens after power failures. Do you want wake on LAN features? How do you want to control the system sort of warnings, like the beeping about cooling and things like that? What sort of cooling mode do you want? Do you want cool mode or quiet mode? Is it going to sit in an office near you or under your desk at home, so you want it to be quiet? Or is it like me, is it out of the way so you're not bothered, you just want to make sure it runs nice and cool? And then you can obviously just click cool mode, so it runs as cool as possible. You can even change the brightness of the LEDs on the front of it as well. Power schedule, do you want to set up a startup shutdown once a week, so it actually shuts itself down, then starts back up again, restarts itself essentially to clear out any logs and things like that. And the hibernation as well If it's going to be used very, 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 very frequently, just disable hibernation, especially if you've got the pre-packaged Synology system with the WD Red drives in there that are meant for constant use in NAS servers. Then just disable it there, but this is just going to be used once a day for a backup, so I'm just going to leave that in there, so the rest of the time it's just going to shut down and save a bit of power. And again, obviously you've got power off there, but we're not using wake up on LAN, so that's that. And if you've got a smart UPS, which I don't, I just have a fairly basic one, then you can set up this there as well. So when the UPS says, oh no, I've lost mains power, and it's connected through the IP, mine doesn't do that. It's not sort of that smart, but then obviously you can say, right, how much time do we give it before the UPS then says no, shut everything down, and obviously saves all your data then, so there's no data loss. External devices, obviously, like I say, you can have things in there like printers and also USB 3 drives, USB 2 as well, but USB 3 drives. So you've got all that functionality built into it, so you can add extra drives in there. So say, for example, you've got another server, you got the drives out of it, put it into a USB enclosure, put it as an external drive, it'll pop up here. You can then view everything under File Station and copy the data over, so it's much faster that way. Again, this is just going to check for updates, and you've got configuration for your backups and resets, so that's all nice and all up to date. Privileges is which users can see which service that's running on the system. Application portal, again, is just be able to see when people log in here, what's the basic service they can run. Shared folder sync, obviously, like I said, we can use this to sync to another Diskstation, or we can have this as the destination to use our sync as this destination server. The final one is, yes, it's got SSH access, so because it does run Linux, you can SSH into it and change things, and there are lots and lots of resources online that allow you to, you know, sort of change the code of this system. It is OpenGL, so you can do whatever you want. Warranty obviously isn't supported after you've messed around with it, but there is that option in there to do that, which means that you can run all sorts of different software and everything else on there. So that's pretty much it then. Setting up a shared folder is very easy. Click create, call the name of it, select the volume, and give it a description. You can encrypt all the data on there as well, and obviously that allows you to do that. You can also set up recycle bins as well, so that if someone deletes a whole bunch of stuff on there, there is actually a recycle bin. You can go and restore everything, and within the scheduling system you can set up how long you want to keep that recycle bin data for, so you can have it so that it empties every 7 days or every 4 weeks, whatever you want to do. So it's all very, very simple, and you know, no complaints with it whatsoever. It runs great. And then the package center is where you can get all these other packages. So these are the ones that it recommends. Download Station is a web-based downloads application. So if you do download an awful lot of data, then obviously you can shove everything in there and that'll manage all your downloads. Again, Audio Station is to have all your music collection, photo collection, video collection. The Surveillance Station is obviously for looking at IP cameras. You can have notes on there, run it as a media server. Cloud Station is great because it allows other systems to use this as a backup server and things like that as well. Speaking of backups, those are all the inbuilt options of backups, which are absolutely brilliant. I use the Hyper Backup Vault. No, I don't, sorry. I use the Hyper Backup to do local backups from my own other systems as well, and that works really well. Cloud Sync, say for example, if you want to synchronize all the data on here to something like Dropbox or a Google Drive or OneDrive, something like that, you can do that through Cloud Sync. Those are all the options for multimedia. You can have your own iTunes server if you wanted to. Again, these are other apps that have been written, but Synology tell you they're theirs, and then these are the other ones. Some are paid for, some are free. Plex server, obviously Plex is great if you want to run a media server and you're used to that platform, then you can do that. Business tools on here, it's pretty much backup and everything else. You've also got an Office app as well. So it allows you to open up files, create and manage document spreadsheet, organize your data, built-in features, as well as shared collaborate with other users over the internet. You've got an SSO server, so for people that don't know about that, that is to store all your keys, so all your passwords and everything else. There's a new sort of system now where single sign-on, you basically just go in there, say I want to sign on to that website, it stores your username and password for all your websites. It can update them automatically, just choose the website and it updates them and things like that. If your password's part of one of these systems where it expires after so many weeks or days, this can handle that and automatically choose a new password that you never get to see. You can actually log in and see it, but it just deals with it automatically. So that's a very, very cool system. And obviously other people have wrote other things, so you can even run your own wiki on there. Drupal is a form of a web server, so you can do that. And again, Magneto for all the other systems of selling or managing information. You can even have a basic antivirus system running on here as well. Utilities, these just run. So CardDAV is basically a system that allows you to synchronize contacts. So basically you can run this server as a way to synchronize all your contacts for all your users if you want, but between basically your PC and your mobile. So you'd have something installed on the PC that's synchronized with Outlook, and then put this on the mobile, and it would synchronize all the contacts between the two then. So for example, if you know what an Exchange account is, Microsoft Exchange, then this is kind of allowing you to do some of that. Directory server is obviously like a way to find everything across the internet. You can even have DNS. Like I said, there's just all sorts of things on here. It'll even run its own mail server as well if you wanted to do that. Database server, storage analyzer, radius server is obviously remote access in it. Proxy server, PDF viewer. No idea what that one is. Text editor, universal search, USB copy. WebDAV server is obviously, like I say, to access it remotely that way. You can even have it as a VPN server, so a portal through this server back out to the internet via something else. A chat server, calendar synchronization. And then the developer stuff as well, so you can put PHP, Perl on here, PHP BB, Python, Ruby on Rails. So all that kind of stuff is all easy to install on here. Like I say, I've just got it as a very basic system right now while I get it all set up. So that's pretty much it. This panel here you can set up however you want. It just comes under the widgets, so you can click that on and off, and you can add more widgets by clicking that and do whatever you want to on there. So you can see who's connected at any one time, and you just drag it up to see all that kind of information there. That is for searching things. File station is just like a Windows. There's no files on there at the moment, so I can't really use it, but it's just a file station. That's where your notifications are. That's where you get to all your apps, including where you can actually then use shortcuts. So you can either go in there or you can drag that across, and you can see the load on the system. It's displayed there, but you can see the load, connected users, speed limits, and all that kind of stuff in there as well. And then under the little person icon, there's your personal details, restart, shutdown, log out, and things like that. So thanks very much for watching this video on this Synology NAS drive. I hope you found it useful. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, give it a thumbs down if you didn't know for whatever reason. Please also leave a comment, get in touch. In the description down below you'll find how to get in touch with me, or if you want to leave a comment down below if you've got a problem setting one of these up, I'll try and reply. If not, other people might reply as well, help you out. It would help me out, speaking of that, if you hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so. Really is very helpful. Thanks very much, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Thanks. Bye.